This is the Nick and Les Sports Report, so I hope you all enjoyed the first episode.
Yeah, I
What's
got it.
what's going on, everybody? Welcome to I'm Nick, and this,
I'm Leslie.
this is our podcast, the Nick and Les Sports Report. We're both from the International Gamers channel. Um, this is something new we thought of doing for a little bit, as I've been more integrating some sports into the channel. And just seeing what we can bring to different lights and what's possible.
hmm
Um, and this is episode 1, so I hope you guys enjoy this. Hopefully, it'll get better as we go on. But yeah. So
Yeah, this is episode 1.
yeah, this is episode 1 of possibly many to become. We don't really have a schedule for this yet,
No.
but we are gonna work things out. So hope you all enjoy, and let's get let's get started.
All right.
Okay, so um, a little probably about we love watching sports, MLB, uh, baseball, basketball, hockey, uh, football,
Football,
like everything. And we have probably one of the biggest days coming up in hockey, which is trade deadline. Um,
March 3rd.
March 3rd starts at 10 a.m. Um,
I'm gonna be up at 7 o'clock. I know you're gonna be at work.
yeah, I'll be at work at 7, so probably afterwards we may have a recap
Yeah.
for you guys on that. But everything works out the way it does. But so far today, there definitely has been lots of rumors going on.
We did have a couple trades.
y-
Uh
yeah,
I guess I could start it out.
yeah,
So the day started out with a trade between the Boston Bruins and the Colorado Avalanche. It was forward Shane Bowers going to the Bruins for goaltender Keith Kincaid. A little minor league deal, but Shane Bowers is probably the biggest name out there, as he was a top prospect a couple years ago, involved in the I believe it was the
it,
Matt Duchene
yeah,
deal.
it was the Matt
Yeah,
Duchene deal between Ottawa and
and the
Colorado.
Avs,
Um, Hold on.
the Avalanche.
All right.
So yeah, the Shane Bowers, part of the Avalanche deal, which the Avalanche absolutely destroyed the Senators in.
Yes,
Uh, they just had an embarrassment of riches,
Oh,
and I guess
yeah.
yeah, and I guess this was he wasn't developing well, so I guess this is a change of scenery move.
Yeah, and he's been decent. I think we haven't seen him much in the NHL.
No,
Um, but he was the 28th overall pick. He was a first round draft pick. Um, by the Sens.
yeah,
But he's only been playing in like the AHL since 2018 after
yeah,
his with Colorado. His most his biggest season was 2019-20. He had 27 points in 48 games versus the Eagles in the AHL.
which is
Um
not bad.
which is not bad, but every season since the 2020 2021 9 points, 21-22 9 points. Avalanche this year 1 game 0 points. But
Right.
so far this season in the American League he has 13 points in 37 games. He has 4 goals, 10 assists.
Nice, nice.
So now he's going to Boston, probably to play with Providence for the rest of the season.
Most
Uh,
likely, yeah.
um, because they just had, I guess they've just had different um, views on where they wanted to go. Definitely a good change of scenery, I think. Um, Keith Kincaid is definitely, uh, I guess, could be a solid backup, but he's definitely came off his high from his New Jersey Devil days a
Yeah,
couple
he
years
was
ago.
he was he was almost like a brick wall, but the stats don't exactly show how good he was.
No,
He was really good for like a 3-year stretch or 4-year stretch.
Yeah, exactly. And even when we think about it, I don't see this amounting to anything. Um,
Yeah,
I Keith Kincaid will probably never play a game for the Avalanche. Um,
yeah.
he'll probably just be let go eventually,
Most likely at the end of his deal.
which I think is should be over. I don't even know
I'd have to
when.
look at cap friendly.
Yeah, I don't even know when that trade when his deal would be done, but probably, I think definitely a big topic has to be well, not big, but like a more like medium-sized one is from the waivers of Kasperi Kapanen getting picked up.
Yeah, I was really surprised he got claimed.
Yeah, with him being claimed from he was put on waivers yesterday by the Pittsburgh Penguins after he was originally on the lease from the Phil Kessel deal, and then they sent him back there a couple years later, and then he didn't really do great there, to be honest.
No.
He didn't put up many points really. He just had a hard time adjusting to that system. Um, but he's now on the member of the St. Louis Blues. He was claimed today, earlier this morning. Um, so it wasn't too bad. Uh,
Hmm.
but definitely,
I
um,
mean, at a cap hit of 3.2 million into next year, I was really surprised that St. Louis took a chance on that.
yeah, because he has 1 year left on his deal, I think, right?
Well, next year, 23,
Yeah,
24.
so that'll be the last year.
Yeah.
Um, but well, the Blues are selling, so they'll probably definitely use. He's definitely a
And
bottom.
he's incredibly fast. It's just that he hasn't been able to control or handle the puck as much as how fast he is. He would always get in the zone really quickly, but would never be able to do anything with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely seems to me that this is kind of with the Blues full rebuild. Um,
I wouldn't call it a rebuild. I call it a
well,
retool.
yeah, maybe like a
Um,
they're not going to be like Colorado and be
what
amazing.
Vancouver's going into now.
Yeah, like Vancouver's a whole different like story.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a lot of problems.
yeah, that'll definitely be later
Hmm.
in the episode, that's for sure. Um, but I think the big thing we should really talk about uh, is all the news with the Rangers and going on right now.
Yes, so um, there's been rumors, well, not rumors, but it's been told that Patrick Kane's stall is no longer there in the SAP Center in Chicago. So he's sent home and waiting for that trade. He's been held for roster management reasons, along with Sam Lafferty. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially because Jake Lecision put on waivers today to clear
Yeah,
up some cap, and then Vitaly Kravtsov traded to Vancouver for
which was
Will. Sorry.
which was definitely a surprise. I
Well,
did,
for the little return, like of Will Lockwood in a seventh,
yeah,
that's really low.
in 3 years from now, like the 3 years from now is not gonna it's not gonna change much. But
No,
I feel like I didn't expect Vancouver to be in the mix, you know?
I saw rumors from Friedman and Elliot Friedman and a couple other people that said Vancouver would probably be a third team to broker uh, the contract cap hit, but
Mhm.
that might still be happening. It might not. Who knows?
But I definitely feel like Kravtsov will he'll get a better chance in Vancouver um, than the whole um, Rangers organization because the Rangers are in win now mode.
Yeah,
Um, if the means gained Patrick Kane, that means they would have got Tarasenko and Kane in the same season. But
which is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, because they started off very slow, but I could see it going. The Rangers definitely would have to give up some players to get Kane. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Um, like if we compare their like whole roster, it's hard to say who they would send the other way. Um,
yeah,
like especially on like good deals. Um, I could see maybe Philip Hedel going the other way. Even
And
though
that seems a little
he's
bit of an overpayment,
well,
but
because if you need another, if it's going to be a 3 team deal, you need um a team to retain at least half, and only half for Chicago is like 5.25 million dollars of his
mhm.
$10.5 million salary. Like there's so many players. Like I don't think they would.
Well, yeah, like this tweet says from Puckpedia. After trading Kravtsov and New York having a projected cap space of 433,000, which can fit 1.6 million annual cap hit today if decision is waived or sent down tomorrow, can fit Kane at 2.625 on March 1st, so 25% retained. Um, Alternatively, could fit Kane sooner by putting Ryan Lindgren, who has an injury right now,
Mhm.
on LTIR,
Yeah,
or an other player off the roster, which could be like a Ben Harper, like a Braden Schneider. I thought I saw earlier as well.
yeah, and like a lot of the guys are on um, UFA, like UFA RFA deals and stuff.
Hmm.
So it definitely could be something interesting to look at.
It's something to keep an eye on.
For sure. Like this is going to be a tough because the rumor is saying that the trade could be done possibly by tomorrow.
Yep.
Um, which I think is something to keep out. It could be at like um 11 p.m. tonight, like the O'Reilly trade was last week.
Yeah.
Um,
We're not insiders, so we don't
no,
know when it's gonna happen. We just
yeah,
gotta find out when the tweet happens.
yeah, we're kind of we'll include all the tweets and stuff that we go over. Um, we'll just pop them up for you guys to look at.
Hmm.
But with the Rangers' loss today, that kind of puts a damp in their actual. It doesn't. They lost to the Capitals, who are particularly sellers. It seems like they're selling right now to
Yeah.
go. Um,
I mean,
but
yeah, 6-3. Shesterkin got scored on. What was it 6 times?
I think so.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, six
yeah,
times.
no, 5 times. The six was an empty net. So he didn't really
No,
have.
no, it was on that. It was on that.
Oh, it was on. It's on
Yeah.
this. It says 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they got,
But
yeah, six
yeah,
goals on them,
wasn't good. They have 75 points. They're third in the Metro. I don't see them falling. But as mainly that of big news, I think the biggest team that we should talk about uh is a team that we don't really like because we don't cheer for them, but
hmm.
is the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins are scary,
They're they're on pace to get 63 wins this year,
which is, oh my God.
which is breaking the record.
Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, so
I mean,
uh,
the acquisitions of Dmitry Orlov and Garnett Hathaway are just, as a Leafs fan, I'm annoyed because playing them in the playoffs at all is it's annoying because they're our boogeyman.
mhm,
Um, and with Hathaway being a pest that he is, and Orlov being a puck moving defenseman who can also hit you really hard, um, yeah, it's gonna be hard to play against. We'll see how it goes down the stretch and into the playoffs, but
yeah, it's definitely replacing the Craig Smith in the bottom six.
yeah, he just didn't fit.
No, for a while he did, but injuries happened and stuff,
Yeah.
so he
And
couldn't show up to the event.
and plus the Bruins have one of the best tandems in the league with Swayman and Olmark. Being Olmark's got a 938 save percentage and Swayman's got a 916, I think 916, which is
Mhm.
really strong for for a tandem like that.
Yes, very much. Um, but overall, um, we could see Boston definitely running through the the division,
But you know what this is reminiscence of?
which
And
is
it could be funny if it is. Tampa Bay in 2019
yes.
when they got put out in the first round after getting swept as well by the Blue Jackets.
Hmm. Yes, they did.
I could
But
be wrong, but it just has this feeling to it.
yeah, it does. But I definitely feel like um, that it's more of the case of what do they do
Hmm.
in this case. Like they don't need to get better or anything.
No, no,
Uh,
no. They're already a really strong team.
yeah, exactly. Like um, they don't need much else difference on what they are doing
Hmm.
with with it. Um, um, yeah, but it's not too bad.
But it also could be like people said, it could be the last dance. Like it's Bergeron, Krejci, and all these guys who are getting up there in age. Could be the last time that they can rock with this core before it's torn down. So they're trying to go all in to see what happened.
Exactly. Like we never know what um is going to happen really with
Hmm.
the team. Um, but it could be worth looking at this as definitely huge for the league. I would definitely say we uh, are in for possibly a run of a lifetime.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, just breaking. For Elliot Friedman on Twitter, Winnipeg is acquiring Nino Niederreiter
Oh, from Nashville?
from Nashville. The return, we don't know yet. He just tweeted it out like 2 minutes ago, but still something to keep an eye on. I'm surprised he was available.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I didn't even know he was going anywhere.
Yeah,
But
he
proves
he
us.
does have pretty good underlying numbers, and his stats don't say it all.
Mhm.
But he could be a decent top nine, bottom six ad for the Winnipeg Jets,
Yeah, for 100%. Um,
especially with the guys like Pierre Luc Dubois coming up on contracts.
I think he has one more year on it.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. Um,
Because I know he's expressed interest in going to Montreal.
yeah, but the Jets won't do that. Um, like,
I hope not because I don't want to see him in the same division.
well, not even that. Like, I think he just said that just to stir some. His agent's the one who's saying it. Like, he's just gonna.
Yeah.
If anything, the Jets shouldn't agree to do that because like
Mhm.
they don't have to. They have his rights, and
Yeah.
but he's also probably doing it. I think just to fully get control of the situation and get and ream them forever how much money they're going to give them.
I did not know that Niederreiter was on a 2-year contract. He's a UFA next year
Oh,
at $4 million cap hit.
that's
Uh,
it.
yeah. This year he has 18 goals, 10 assists on the year with Nashville, and Nashville is not very good.
No,
They are mediocre at best.
yes, especially where they are in the standings.
UC Saros is trying his hardest in net, but it's just not working.
Yeah, they're 28, 22, and 6 this year.
Yeah.
So that helps.
But
It
when
does
you got guys like uh uh
the
Ryan Johansson, Matt Duchene, these
the
guys who are not living up to their contracts, and
yeah they
Supplemental scoring is hard too.
they were last year. That's all we can say is they were,
Yeah.
but this year they've just gone all the way back. Um, Considering Nashville is 7 points out of a playoff spot, right? Currently,
Yeah, which is surprising. Like
uh,
when you hear about the Predators, you'd think they'd be out of the playoffs, but they're not that far out,
no, because Colorado has a second wild card spot currently at 69 points
which is
this year.
which is like wow.
Yeah, Colorado in a
But
wild card spot.
injuries have derailed that team, but they're still trying.
Yes. Yeah, so basically the break in they just need in the wild card, they just need 70 points. They only need 8 points to
To
get
get in the spot.
to tie the first place in wild card, which is the Kraken.
Yeah.
Um
And then you look at the East and you
and the
got
East,
freaking the Bruins
the
at
Bruins
90 points,
93.
93
93
points.
in
93 points
and the next closest team
is
is
Carolina.
Carolina
I think.
86.
And I believe the Leafs and Lightning are in the top 5 too.
Yeah, Leafs have 80 points, Tampa has 76.
And those 3 out of those 4 teams are in the Atlantic.
Yes, very
That
much
just
so.
goes to show you how hard it is to make it out of this division.
Yeah, the East is very hard,
Yeah.
but we definitely have had some different parts come up for it. I'm glad that we were able to get the trade on the show,
Mhm.
not afterwards, because we love listening to all these different podcasts, like the Steve Dangle podcast, 32 Thoughts, all of them. It's
Yeah.
like this is also why we started doing this as well. But you know, it's so interesting just seeing what goes on in the sports world and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
And I always have pure excitement when it comes to trade notifications and whatnot. Doesn't matter if it's my team or not.
yeah,
I just like the art of trading.
yeah, just it's just something that seems right.
Mhm.
Um, so I think another thing we should talk about is um, after all this news, we'll take a break from that. Who do you think who has disappointed you the most this year, and who has imp, like surprised you the most?
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
I think to be honest, the embarrassed the most, probably I would have to. I definitely would say probably Vancouver.
That's a good choice. Yeah, they're
Because they were on such a high. They didn't really do much in the off season. In my opinion, brought in Curtis Lazar.
was it did they bring in Halak? No, that was the
No,
Rangers.
that was the ring.
Oh,
He was on the year before.
yeah.
Um, they didn't really do much. Like very disappointing.
They
I'm
did sign JT Miller to that long ass deal that
Yes,
is not working out in the slightest.
yeah. It's not like he's horrible in the defensive zone.
Mhm.
Um, and unfortunately, they've just been on a downhill spiral. I don't know how long, to be honest, it's going to last there. Um,
Well,
I
again, hearing Thatcher Demko's name, hearing uh different names like Niels Holander as well, those names being out there, and those like last year we were told were the future of the Canucks, but now it's starting to look a little glim or a little. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
Um, but I know people have said that they should just completely tear it down and just focus on Pedersen and Hughes as their main core and build them around.
Oh
But I thought they already tried to do that and it still hasn't worked.
no, and if you look at the success the other Hughes brothers are having in New Jersey,
Yeah, Jack.
uh, Jack Hughes when his brother Luke comes up.
Luke Hughes he's a monster in college.
Yeah, so like I expect that to like happen at any moment.
Yeah,
Um, I wouldn't. I could see a trade happening between Vancouver and the Devils to send the Quinn Hughes there possibly
at some time down the road. Yeah,
sometime, but I don't think so. Like even Pedersen, his deal is ending soon, and that was a bridge deal originally.
yeah. So the chances of him re-signing, and I know how hard that is for Vancouver fans to what do you call it, come to terms with. I have to come to terms with it every day when I see the Toronto media talking about Matthews.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it's the business.
it's definitely hard. And when that happens, it happens. But we never fully will understand what goes through their heads, and like
No,
we look at some trades and just like, why did you do this? Or
the Oliver Ekman Larson trade was
that's that's definitely where the downfall started for the
and
Canucks.
I like Connor Garland. I'm a big fan of Connor Garland, but he has not lived up to any to what was given to him, and OEL is just breaking. His body's falling apart.
Yeah, and well, especially because they had our top. He was in Arizona. He was a top power play guy, right?
Hmm.
Um, and now he's just which news do you have to bring to the podcast? Oh, we got it. Yes, we had. Thank you. Can I help you? We're in the middle of our show.
Hi, Jazz.
He says hello. Okay. Okay. I got that. I'm gonna leave that in.
Yeah, yeah. Just awkward silence of just her just entering the room.
Yeah. But yeah, Vancouver is definitely
They're they're uh they're stuck in the mud, as you would say. It's you're
yes,
stuck. They're stuck in the mud. They're not going forward. They're not going backward. They're just there. And they should be going backwards and they should be rebuilding, but management does not want that. They want an
yeah,
aggressive retool, which they've been retooling since they got eliminated by the Bruins in 2011.
yeah. That was definitely hard on the city
Hmm.
of Vancouver after the riots.
Yeah,
But
it
uh,
happens. And what is your most improved or most surprised?
um, definitely I would probably say the Devils.
Oh yeah, the Devils are just oh my god.
Especially after last year.
That winning streak to start the season.
Yeah,
What was it like 13
13
games?
wins. Uh,
Yeah.
after that 13 games started after they lost, I think 4 or 5 in a row, and the crowds are chanting "Fire Lindy,"
Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh, and then they just went off.
Yeah.
Um,
Jack Hughes has been a beast and showing that last year was not a fluke.
no, he's not a bust, and if you think he's a bust, take a look at yourself. He's like
You need to do some more research on hockey.
yeah, he's definitely one of the top players in the league.
Yeah.
Um, so it's something definitely to look into for the
Hmm.
Devils. But yeah,
For me, most disappointing is the Ducks
oh yeah, like I
because
thought
they brought in John Klingberg, they brought in Frank Vetrano, they got these guys, they got Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, they still got John Gibson in net, and yet they have not been able to put it together,
no, they only have 18 wins on the season.
which is wow, that's awful. That is awful.
Well, and considering their 18th win came against the Capitals last night, um,
Yeah.
4-2. definitely things to look out for against them.
The only thing they did need to look forward to is the draft and seeing if they get the first overall pick for Bedard.
Yeah, uh, hard to say. Every single team that tries to finish last gets screwed. Um,
Yeah, yep. That happens a lot.
look, look at Detroit, man. Like when Detroit,
Colorado too,
Colorado, yeah, they projected to go have the worst season, fourth
and
overall
they
pick.
got fourth overall.
It's
Yeah,
like,
but they still got Kale McCarr out of that.
yeah, they did, they did,
Yeah, so they're doing fine.
yeah. But I definitely think if there was a redraft, Kale could be first.
I think he should have went first,
Yeah,
but at the time I didn't know much about it because I wasn't that much into hockey as I am now. So
yeah. So it's not like, and like I didn't even know who Kale McCarr was really. Then I saw him
yeah,
playing
I
for
know
the
I
first.
knew he was in the what was it, the BCHL or something like that, and
He was
that's where
playing.
he got.
Yeah, he was playing for a team like we didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
Um,
and then most improved or surprising. Hmm, that's a hard one because there is a lot of teams that were really good last year who are good this year. Um, I'm gonna do a tie. The Detroit Red Wings and the Buffalo Sabres.
yeah, those are
Those
two.
two teams, especially the Red Wings, as of late, have started to put it together.
Finally,
Uh, Ville Husso in net, he's getting back to the form he had last year with St. Louis.
yeah,
Um, Dylan Larkin, what do you call it? A bunch of the younger guys like Lucas Raymond and those guys starting to develop well. Mort Sider as well. And then for Buffalo, I mean, come on, Tage Thompson.
Jefferson.
That's the
He
starting point. Tage
he
Thompson's a beast.
he is like I can't lie. Even though I'm wearing this Oilers shirt, I'm a fan of Buffalo. Uh,
Hmm.
but you know it's going great. Um, they just have a lot. The only really thing they need right now is a good goaltender.
And
Um,
Craig Anderson is serviceable, and
y-
so is Eric Comrie, and UPL is
yeah,
still developing.
yeah.
And then you got
UPL has a good record, but a bad save percentage.
yeah, and then
Um,
you got Devin Levi coming out of college this year. You got the future is bright. They just need if they want to. I don't think they should buy like
no,
like go all in because there's no point. You're just
but
in the contending window now. You're just starting to enter it.
yeah, why break up the chemistry of all the young guys
Exactly.
to get a good player or defenseman? Like I could see maybe giving picks like up for like a Thatcher Demko. Like
Yeah, I would. Thatcher Demko seems like a really good option for goaltending.
yeah, because it's kind of like Billy Huso. You need a Billy Huso type of goalie to come
Hmm.
in. Any team could use Demko really. Uh,
Now the question is, would Buffalo consider where they're at in the standings trading Kyle Okposo because
no,
he is on the last year of his deal.
he is.
Um,
I
so
I don't think so.
no,
No,
yeah, he is their captain.
he is the
So
captain.
yeah,
He's on a 1 year. If anything, he'll come back on league min next year. If
something like what Mark Giordano did with the Leafs.
yeah, um, or retire. Um,
Well, I think he's 33,
he's
34.
but he's not old. He's not old, but it's
No,
like
no, no. But his body is gonna
he's
start to slow down.
100%. You know, it's very different on what what their needs and wants are.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, they have a really good core in Alex Tuck, uh, Tage Thompson,
Thompson,
Rasmus Dahlin, Henry Jokiharju. I'm a fan of.
yeah,
Um,
Jeff Skinner's revamped
yep, Jeff
again. He's
Skinner.
back to when he first came a couple
Dylan
years ago.
Cousins is one of the better 2Cs in the league.
Yeah, and he got paid for his services.
Yes, he did, and
And
well worth it because
well
he
worth.
is a beast.
I I think Kevin Adams is smart. Sign the young guys now
Hmm.
to low value deals.
And
But for
you still have Yuri Kulich who's tearing up the minor leagues. You still have um, John Jason Paterka.
yeah,
You've got Jack Quinn still. He's still figuring out the league. Peyton Krebs. So
Yeah,
you still have pieces. You have young pieces still to build on. And you have draft capital still.
exactly. So it's like, and as of today, they are in a playoff spot currently.
Yes.
They are in the second wild card spot. So if they make the playoffs, it'll be the first time in 11 years they would make the
Which they need to break that. They did last year was the Mariners breaking their
year.
21 year not making the playoffs. This year it's gonna be Buffalo, and I'm standing by that.
Yeah, I think it'll be Buffalo in the playoffs. But if they go the way I'm thinking, if they change the playoff format to the 1-8, which I would like
Hmm
to see, it'd be Buffalo versus Boston first round. Um,
I like the 1 through 8, one for V8 uh playoff format. It rewards the first place team
with
facing an
poss
8 seed, but
we've seen
still
eight seeds like
upset a one
upset.
seed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's not like it's an easy win for the 1 seed. It's not.
no. Like if we like even if you like check like their matchups this year, the Sabres have been pretty good against the Bruins
Mhm.
um this
It's
season.
yeah, it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, no. Um um, of all their like summaries and stuff. Like they've beat them multiple times, I think. So far, the regular season series is tied at 1.
Mhm.
Um, Bruins beat them in the first game 3-1. Sabres beat them 4-3 in overtime in the second game.
Right.
They they play on March 2nd, so the day before the trade deadline, and then March 19th for the final game of the season. Um,
Right.
and they split between home and the way.
So
So
yeah, they're two teams that are really good head to head.
yes, very much. And it could be an upset, but I feel like overall it's what the team needs.
Well, I think if Buffalo does make the playoffs, I wouldn't have any real expectations. Like if they make it out of the first round, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But if they don't what do you call it? Sour on it because it's just
No,
the first year of a contention window.
yeah, literally it's like it's a step to improvement just making the playoffs is good. Like
Exactly.
there's no need to like oh trade everyone if they get swept and it's
Yeah,
like
no, you don't want to go to that extreme.
no. Like if they make it all the way, it's like that would be the Cinderella story. Like
Hmm
but
And
I
they would finally avenge the 1999 Stanley Cup Finals.
yeah, and all, losing also to Carolina in 2006 in the Eastern
Yes,
Finals.
yeah. I
Uh,
remember. Yeah,
that was hard. Then the last series one was against the Rangers in 2007.
right.
That was their last series win, and then they could have made the Cup final then, but it was Ottawa's turn that year.
And they ended up losing to the Ducks.
To the Ducks in 5 games, but the Ducks were good then, but overall, I don't really see much else happening. Uh,
Need a writer for a second rounder in 2024.
yeah. Winnipeg's just up in their bottom 6 right now. Uh,
And they have another good core. They have a
yes,
really good core.
they're second in their division.
Yeah,
Uh,
and they have one of the better defenders in the league this year, and Josh Norrisy. I mean
see,
Morrissey.
Josh No Morrissey, but yeah. Um, as long as Connor Hellebuck plays the way he has for most of the season,
He's a brick wall.
some nights he
Yeah.
doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, other nights like he had 5 goals against last night, I believe it was
Yeah,
against
Against the
the
Avalanche
Avs. Yeah,
in
that's
a
right.
five in a 5-1 win.
Yeah, but that's the Avalanche. They are really really strong up front.
Yeah, they're here to prove that the Stanley Cup win wasn't a fluke.
No,
Uh,
I think they have a chance if everybody comes back healthy. to
to do it.
to yeah, back to back, just like the Lightning did the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, Landeskog will probably be back for the playoffs for
Yep.
them. Um, the most interesting one, I think, is even though they're lower and we kind of have a preview of the matchup, we kind of know it's going to be Tampa versus Toronto in the first round again.
Yeah, I gotta prepare for that.
Yeah, I feel like even though like Tampa's been having an on and off year, I feel
Mm.
like once the playoffs come around, it's a different animal.
Well, yeah, Vasilevsky and that core turns into like they switch. It's like a switch is turned. They are one of the hardest teams to play against in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would definitely expect it to go 7 games again this year.
Yeah.
I
I just hope it doesn't end like it did last year.
yeah, the
The
rules were
interference,
the
yeah.
interference, like, but you can kind of see it was, and
Yeah, it was
he
interference.
stepped into him. Like,
Yeah.
there's not you can't get away with that. Like,
But
uh,
to me as a Leafs fan, it was a bit of a soft call.
it he definitely was, but I could see you could see it from both ways,
Yeah, yeah.
especially if you were there. It's like it's
Mhm.
not like that took all the momentum out of the game when
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and Tampa kinda controlled after that.
Mhm. But if there was the 7 game series, I definitely think that it, and like Toronto would push, but I feel like Tampa would still have the edge and win anyway
Right.
because just they're like they just have those guys like their fourth line, but,
It
Pierre.
needs work, it needs
It
work.
needs work.
Mm, yeah.
Belmar, Perry, Maroon, like that's just a bunch of instigators. Like
Oh, yeah, Corey Perry is a pest, and
Corey
Patrick
Perry's
Maroon is
Patrick Maroon is Patrick Maroon.
yeah,
Like,
everybody knows who Patrick Maroon is.
yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if that line causes issues for other for Toronto. Like,
Well,
uh
I think it's gonna be the Nick Paul line again. It's
oh
gonna be him again.
yeah, definitely Nick Paul. He's been having a good year so
Yes.
far. Um, I think definitely
I'm still unhappy we didn't get Brandon Hagel last year. Brandon Hagel he's a great player, and now he's finally being able to show how good he is on a contending team.
yes. I think he also could be on pace for um I forget what it is, but he's so far in he has 48 points in 57 games. By the end of the season, he could be possibly at 70 points.
Which he's gonna break his career high
He has
easily.
he
Yeah,
broke his career high, which was if I just do some quick math, is 31. And so like
oh yeah,
he's
he blew it out of the
yeah,
water.
he's at 38 right now. He has 7 more points.
Yeah.
And considering his first really NHL, oh, I forgot to add um one because he played the previous season as well.
Yeah.
Um, so what's that? So 42, like 42 is his career high so far, but not in a season. So far, he's a total of 42 points, but his career high right now is the 38 points
Right.
with the Lightning. Um, so he's definitely someone to look for.
Hmm.
You need definitely that type of player.
Yeah,
Going in,
he's a gritty player.
yeah, going into that. But overall, I think that if the playoffs, because the playoffs are just a different story. This is more we're trying to more focus on trade deadline and stuff. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's we're
It's
just we're
yeah.
just waiting for news. Really, there's hasn't been many other moves.
We
Today
know of one move that's gonna happen, but it's
it's
not
it's
yet.
it's when
Yeah,
like
with the Patrick Kane going to New York, it's almost confirmed
yeah,
at this point.
exactly. Um, and if it happens tomorrow, we'll definitely get another one of these out for you guys
Yeah,
quicker for us to do it.
it might be a shorter one than this one, but still,
Yeah. Um,
Shit, it might happen after this. You never
yeah,
know.
it might happen. But overall, I think that we've definitely had some great topics covered here today.
Mhm.
Don't want to have too long for a first episode,
No.
Um, but yeah, I definitely feel like that we definitely got some covered stories more. We'll definitely get some. This one was more the hockey. There'll be probably the first two hockey ones, and we'll get into some other
Then we'll
sports.
start to disperse between other sports with baseball going on now. The NBA is also almost done theirs and going to playoffs, and some football ones coming in mid March.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be getting all that information for you guys all settled out. Um, but yeah, so I feel like this is a good spot to end it.
Hmm.
So hope you guys all enjoyed this. And we'll definitely keep making these
Yep.
to
If you guys like this, we'll continue to put out more as we can, and we
exact
appreciate all the support we can get.
exactly. And this is a different step in the channel, but I feel like overall we are definitely excited to go forward with this and see
Hmm.
what different kind of brands we can build. Um, so far we only have a couple of, of members really, uh,
Yeah.
but
This was my introduction.
yeah,
So yeah.
this was Leslie's introduction. He's been with the channel for a couple years, but I've mainly just been doing
Yeah, he's been doing the heavy lifting. I haven't done anything.
yeah. Even though it's been on and off, there's been months breaks in between. That's just because I've just been taking time and stuff and doing
Yeah.
different hard works. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. So we will all see you guys later, and yeah,
Yeah.
bye.